Hi, everyone. It's Rachel Olshine from Career Services. I wanted to put some information out there for students wherever you're at, whether you're a freshman or you're a graduating senior or a master's student, to kind of know or have a little bit more information on internship searching, job searching, amidst COVID-19, right? So we know that things have changed a lot and we know that things will probably continue to change. And so I wanted to give you some resources and ideas on how can you spend your time, how you can prepare, and even, continue to job search or search for internships. So I want to share my screen with you. Let's see here. So this beautiful PowerPoint that I've put together for you. I'm sure it's going to blow you away. Um, I want to start with a kind of an agenda of what do we know, like right now, today, what do we know that can be helpful or just informative? How can we then prepare better? What do we need to be doing in the time that we have to get prepared for whatever is coming next? And then how can we develop? So developing, preparing, I think looks a little bit different. Developing, I think, has a sense of we're always going to be growing and learning. And so we have this time that, whether we look at it this way or not, has been gifted to us, right? We have a little more, um, just an opportunity to be introspective and reflexive. And so, what can we do to develop our skills during this time? So, looking at information first, where are y'all going to find current updated information on businesses, organizations, whether you're going to get hired, whether you're not, things like that. I wanted to put a few of these on here, and I'll share another screen in a moment. The first thing that we use as career services is NACE. It's the National Association for Colleges and Employers. They have offered career services professionals like myself different webinars and different ideas to try to help in different ways. And so I'll come back and we'll look at this trend predictions in a minute. Handshake, keep your handshake up to date. If you haven't activated it, do it. That's what you need to do. Okay. Candor is a live, up to date website that shows over 6,000 businesses and organizations and what they are doing in regarding whether they're hiring, firing, layoffs, etc. Job Fair X has a lot of virtual job fairs, so that is another way that you could be checking out for jobs. And then internships.com. So let me stop sharing my screen with y'all, and I will go to give you a quick look at. We'll start with the poll um, from NACE. So they basically have polled different organizations, different schools regarding predictions and what is going on. So you do have to kind of take into account who's replying, like how many responses have they actually had. But it says as of 4/3/20, so it's a little bit ago, about 64% of employers surveyed were not revoking any offers. That figure was down from 59% as of 4/24. So 22% are still considering revoking offers, but they haven't. And if you look at this, I'm not going to read this all word for word because y'all are smart individuals and you can read. There is a lot to be a little just kind of leery about. Just there's a lot of unknowns, and it tends to be more on the internship side. If you look right around in here, 70% of offers for interns for summer 2020 are being revoked. So if you are in a position where your internship is being revoked, please let me know and we'll talk more about that at the end as well. So we are still trying to prepare. For example, we have the career fair in October. That's normally when we do it. We may have to make some adjustments. And so we're trying to figure out what that looks like. However, we are still here. We are working remotely and still trying to make sure that our students are taken care of when it comes to their needs and career services. So this next website, this is the Candor website. And so, I mean, literally, you can look on here, we can look up really anything. So let's look up Amazon, right? See if Amazon is hiring. Well, normally that worked. I've done it before. Maybe it's loading, but you get what I'm saying. So we have PetSmart, right? PetSmart, we have a report that it's hiring as well as a hiring freeze. And so this is something that you can look at. PetSmart maybe as a corporate organization, maybe they are not hiring. However, maybe your local PetSmart is hiring. So this has been a really interesting thing to look at, trying to find, you know, if there's a company, if you want to work for Lockheed Martin, right? Let's look that up. Let's see if they're hiring. I know they are hiring. I just read an article on that on LinkedIn. They're hiring about 5,000 positions. So good resource. And if you're not sure what a hiring freeze is right now they're putting a hold on that because they're trying to understand and kind of forecast what's their future going to look like, right? So they're not going to bring on someone only to lay them off, right, in just a couple of weeks. So be mindful of that. Okay, the next thing is Job Fair X. So Job Fair X has different options. You can do a virtual job fair. So if we go back up here and find your job fair, you can meet face-to-face in different cities. So if this could be good for alumni who don't even live anywhere near Texas. So, here are a ton of different options. Here's a virtual one in Austin, June 16th. So I think this is a really great way to be connected virtually if we can't attend things like we have normally. So the other one that I've talked before about is internships.com. I don't have that pulled up, but that is a really great resource for finding internships. So moving on, I want to talk a little bit about now during this time, like school's about to wrap up, but we know that does not mean just stop working. So what can you do during this time that you have maybe some free time that you didn't really expect? And so I want to go back to my PowerPoint and talk kind of specifically about things that you can do. The first I would say is to keep your social media updated as well as your resume. This is something you can really easily do on LinkedIn. Update your LinkedIn. If you don't have one, get one. Update your Handshake account. Find ways to virtually connect and network. These are really simple, easy things that you can do. I know TikTok's great. I know that you've probably been making a ton of dances, but just take 5-10 minutes, update your resume, update your professional social media. Another thing you can do is schedule a resume review or a mock interview with myself, just to keep your skills fresh. There's nothing wrong with having a little practice and growing in that area. And really, it turns out to be almost kind of a way to kind of take the edge off if you do have an interview and feeling more prepared. Next, I would encourage you to work on your vocational skills. And you may be like, Rachel, what is that? Your vocational skills are those skills that you can do and learn and grow in various places. So if you wanted a internship at Garmin this summer and you didn't get it, but you know what? Domino's is hiring, Walgreens is hiring, Brookshire's is hiring, right? Take those jobs. It will help you in your vocational skills. There are so many things that you can learn and put on your resume in those jobs that you didn't think you necessarily wanted. It's really important. I would recommend still looking into jobs that maybe weren't your first or second choice because you can grow and build on those. Okay. Last thing I would say for what you can do, look into free or cost effective webinars or certificates. Some people have picked up Duolingo or different language learning apps to try to increase their marketability. These are all things that you can do. Even, I know you probably don't want to do more school, but Harvard's offering different courses for free. So there's so many cool things that you can do during this time where you just may not exactly be sure what is coming next. So check into those things. Okay. The next thing I would say to do, resume tips, right? We want to keep our resume fresh. We got lots of different resources for you. We have the resume guide. I also put a video on Handshake just about your resume and building your resume if you don't necessarily have one, as well as request a resume review session with me. Doesn't take super long. We'll get it to a really good spot and you'll be ready to go when we get back to school and the career fair happens. It may not happen exactly the way it has happened in the past, but it's going to happen. Okay. Things that I want to talk about real briefly for those of you who are now in positions of interviewing. What's going on with interviews these days? Basically, it's like this. It's all virtual. You've probably felt, I don't know about y'all, maybe you have not felt like this, so I won't speak for you, but maybe you have felt like you've kind of been in a Zoom prison or Microsoft Teams or Google Hangout prison. I don't foresee that changing anytime soon. So we better get used to it and get really good at it. Okay. I wanted to go over some tips for interviewing virtually. First thing I would say is test out your technology. Don't just show up on your phone thinking it's going to be all great. I highly recommend testing out where you're going to be, what you're going to sound like, and making sure that there's no feedback or anything like that. Secondly, choose a clean, quiet, well-lit space. Even consider a virtual background. Now, I hope that you can see I am in my guest bedroom and my dog kennel is right there. So don't do as I do. Do as I say, not as I do. But I think it's important, like professionally dressed, right? I made a comment about this, I believe, in another video. I don't care what kind of bottoms you have on. Actually, I do care. But dress professionally. Don't wear, lots of prints. Like keep it classy, keep it professional, and make sure you wear pants. Okay, that's always a plus. Make sure to wear pants. Be personable, smile often. Start smiling even before the Zoom comes on because that is their first impression of you. So make sure you are smiling. Make sure as much as you can be looking straight at the camera. Another thing to do is to take notes, and this can be done either on your computer. You can kind of minimize the screen a little bit and type and take notes off to the side, or if you would like to just have a scratch piece of paper on the side, you can do that. I think it's important to know your talking points. I kind of skipped over the practice one, but practice, know your talking points, record it, and look for ways to improve, or send it to me and I'll tell you how to improve. The last thing I would say is check your username, right? Like the same for your email, making sure you have a professional username and a professional email is really important, because I would have large questions about emailing, camo gal 72, right? Like I think our olshine@gmail is just fine. Not, my email is not camo girl 72. It just came to my head. Okay. Now this may be a little more kind of on the scarier side. What happens if you lose your internship, or if you were going to be hired someplace and now they've revoked that? I would say be resourceful. This is for you to think outside the box, and also remind yourself that your first job out of college will not be for your forever job. I understand that you've invested a lot of time, money, emotions, and probably your sanity into your degree, and that will still pay off. It may just look a bit different now, If you had an internship that was rescinded, still add it to your resume. It shows that you had initiative. It shows that you're hireable. It shows that you are marketable. And then if you start to look for another one and you get that one, you can take off that previous one that wasn't able to be completed on your resume. Or if for some reason you do not get a new internship, focus on those skills, focus on those vocational training aspects that you can do to really show that, hey, I didn't get this based on COVID-19, but I'm still working to develop my professional skills. That will speak volumes to employers. And so there's a lot of things that we may not necessarily want to do, but there are options out there. And so if you are hard set on getting a job by, May 30th, right? Like this job may just have to look a little bit different than what you fully thought or intended. Okay. How can you develop? And this is where, I don't know if many of you know this, I'm a licensed professional counselor. So I often like to have a holistic vibe to things like your emotions and your spiritual health and your mental health, right? How can you continue to develop as a person? Be active, be physically active, activate your mind, be reading, be searching, be reflective, be responsive, and be positive. These are all really core skills and competencies that I think will help you have that edge on that next person in terms of a job or an internship. When you can show employers how you spent your time during COVID-19 and you're able to say, I really took some time for my mental health or my I really had wanted to brush up on my French, and so I've been working on that as well as this other mechanical project I've been working on. Let me tell you about that. Be creative. Be innovative. This is what Laterno students do. We are innovators. We are scientists. We are creative. So be who God has called you to be and utilize your time so you can develop on a holistic level, not just focusing on just getting a job, but fulfilling your passion and your calling for life. If y'all have any questions or have anything you need to talk about, please reach out to me. You can email me at rachelolshine@letu.edu or send me a message on Handshake. I'd love to talk to y'all about what to do moving forward and how to best do that. So thanks for your time. Hope y'all are doing well. Can't wait to see your real live faces and not on Zoom. Thanks.